All right, today's synonym for courage is cheerful. Uh, this one caught me off guard. I was surprised that it had anything to do with courage. So it took me a little bit of time to contemplate it. And then I started to get it. I started to see, oh, okay, I could see how cheerful is a part of courage. And I think that's also something I'm really getting from this process is the initial like resistance or belief that it's not there or it's kind of drawn a blank rather than believing that that's the only possibility, the only truth or fact. Just staying in the question, contemplating cheerfulness, and then it coming to me or contemplating a different synonym. And that's been, I think, a really valuable part of this. And I can reflect on all the times where I've thought or rejected something, thought like this is not doable or I don't get it. And then moving beyond that to see what's there. I've done that a lot in my life. And I do believe that that's one of the reasons why I've experienced a lot of things out of my comfort zone, whether it's cultures or art or people or places, concepts, just that are moving beyond what I think is the bottom line on something. So cheerful. Took me a little bit to get this. And what I came up with, what came up into my consciousness, my memory, is, and I did have a lot of resistance to this one because I was like, man, I'm never cheerful. But what came to me was, so I have a friend, Dave, or he goes by another name because he's an artist, he's a writer, a poet. Um, he's one of my closest friends. And we met when I used to write poetry. And I was pretty emotionally invested back then, a lot of different feelings. And I was struggling a lot, and poetry helped me express some stuff. And then I met him through that. I'm not sure what his motivation for writing or creating was, but that's how we met. And we talked a lot on the internet. Then we finally met in person in Chicago. And I see him once in a while, once every few years. I gave up on the poetry thing. I just wasn't, didn't feel inspired to do it anymore, so I stopped. But I had always wanted to um, go out on a poetry reading tour. Like I like the idea of that. That hitting the road, going to new places, meeting people you never met before, just that stepping out of the comfort zone over and over and over and over again. I love stuff like that. But I wasn't really connected to poetry anymore. And then he said he was going out. I was like, oh man, this might be it. I asked him, hey bro, can I come with you? If I remember right. And so we went out, and during that time, there was a lot of humor, and I think humor is different than cheerful. Humor is another synonym for courage, but it's later down the list. So, but the cheerful part was uh, just being out on the road. Like it just genuinely made me feel cheerful. I don't drive anymore because my vision doesn't allow me to drive. And like road trips have always been something that just instantly gets me into an elevated feeling that where I'm just cheerful, like just feeling good, moving forward into the unknown. And so when me and him went out, I had that feeling a lot. I mean, there were other feelings, but that one was there a lot. And I remember when I first got there, we walked around, joked around a little bit, and then the next day, I woke up really early. And I just walked around. We're in St. Pete, Florida. I don't know if you've ever been to St. Pete. It's like a cross between a Jimmy Buffett song and Walt Disney World. It's not really a place I ever thought I'd be. But as I was walking around this place in the morning, sun's coming up. Saw all these beautiful colors in the water and the sky. And I remember walking up to this tree, and there's some really aggressive squirrels. That's the best way I could put it. Like they were just like I was walking down the wrong block or something. These squirrels just looking at me, chirping at me, talking shit. And they're all around this tree. And this tree, I don't even remember what kind of tree it was. I'd never seen anything like it before, but it was this massive tree, and it had like tendrils coming down off of it. And it looked really old, but I think that's just the quality of the bark. I'm not sure. And I was just standing in front of this tree, taking it in, watching the squirrels. And the sun had just risen. It had that fresh feeling. But it was Florida. I'd never been to Florida before, so it was humid, even though it was October. So it wasn't like crazy humidity, but it was humid. And I was just sitting in this experience, just taking it in. And I remember feeling alone at first, you know. And then, I don't know, something shifted. I just felt connected and cheerful. I was just smiling. And I thought, oh man, people are going to think I'm crazy. I'm over here smiling at a tree, watching little squirrels bark at me. And I walked back with this feeling of cheerfulness. And it was present a lot during that trip. We went to several different cities, met a lot of interesting people, ate a lot of peanut butter. But yeah, so that's what came up for cheerful. And this is an interesting one. Usually the courage feelings are a lot more dense, the subtle emotions for courage so far. Other ones I've had in the past kind of feel like Dragon Ball Z, like I'm just supercharging an energy around my upper body. This one feels very light, but I can definitely still feel that sense of courage in it. The little dense, but then also like this lightness to it. So It almost feels moving on to acceptance. So that's cheerful. That's today's subtle emotion for courage. I'll see you guys tomorrow.